Welcome back to the Beast Speak blog. This is a series where I tell you what the Beast has been saying to me and how I overcame it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Beast is your addictive voice, the AV and AVRT of rational recovery. If you can recognize that Beast, then you can separate yourself from your urges, and that can result in immediate and lifelong abstinence. If you want to learn more about rational recovery or how to do AVRT, I'll link Virginia's story in the description box below. That's a good place to get started. I was in deep sorrow the other day, really feeling hopeless because of my procrastination, and the Beast kept telling me it won't be enough. It's an insidious argument the Beast uses because he knows I believe it's true. It undermines any approach to action. You guys know I struggle with my house, and I feel like every day things are piling up on me. It's coming in faster than I can keep up. Even when I'm at my best, I'm not equal to one day's worth of tasks. I'm getting farther and farther behind. I was so desperate, I turned to God and said, will you fill in the gaps? Can you give me the strength to surmount this growing mountain of undone things? So I started doing research into the Protestant work ethic, and I wanted to know where that came from so I could maybe learn something from that I was missing. But it turns out it comes from Calvinism, and it's about insecurity and salvation. They wanted to prove that to themselves and to others that they were one of the pre-selected to go to heaven. I don't like when things don't come from a place of wholeness and when it comes from a place of fear. So I moved on to the ascetic monks, and I thought maybe I could learn something from them. But that comes from a place of hatred of the body, and God says we're wonderfully and fearfully made. The idea that we should hate our bodies is like satanic. He hates us. God doesn't. I prayed again, and it struck me I didn't have to be sadistic. I had to displace comfort as the first thing I was serving in my life. I was making comfort my God. As soon as I realized this, I got up and did the dishes. I learned a few things about the brain the other day. We know that Jack Trimpey says the Beast comes from the midbrain, and there's a brain model that you can do with your hand. You look at the picture I posted, and it shows that arrow. That's your wrist. It represents the brain stem. That's where the flight, fight, freeze, or fawn resides. When you drop down into that part of the brain when you feel unsafe. The thumb folded in, that represents the midbrain. That's where your emotions when your emotions control you. You drop into that part of your brain when you feel unloved. When we feel safe and we know that we're loved, the neocortex, represented by the fingers folded over the thumb, when the neocortex is engaged, that's where all learning and creativity can happen. That's your best self. When you drop into the lower centers of the brain, the neocortex is offline, and you could say you've flipped your lid, as that visual would denote. As adults, if we have no one to help us feel safe and loved, we can always turn to God. The Bible says, even if your parents abandon you, I'll take you up. I explained this hand model to my kids, and when they're misbehaving, I'll just signal them my fingers flying up like they're flipping their lid, and it's been helping them to stay centered and to not lose their cool. So now that you understand that model, I have two more things to add to things I learned about the brain this week. They found out that if you zoom out and talk to yourself in third person, you can draw yourself back into your neocortex. Let's say you start feeling agitated. You would say your name instead of I and say, let's say your name is Jim, you'd say, Jim is feeling agitated. Jim doesn't want to wait in line. Jim's tired of understaffed supermarkets. The zooming out is similar to a video I'll link in the description about willingness training. It's a great video. It's really funny. I hope you check it out. The other thing I found out about was that the brain, researchers just found out that when you do something you don't want to do, but you know you should, your brain actually grows. It literally grows. So I've been using that to my advantage this week. My kids are constantly throwing stuff on the floor, so I'll see something, and as soon as I'm about to turn away from it, I use not wanting to pick it up as the exact reason I do it. I was throwing out some tissues I found next to the bed the other day. We've been sick for 2 weeks, the whole house. And some fell behind the garbage can when I was throwing them out. And I rolled my eyes because I was like, oh, if I'm, I'm going to have to like pull the garbage can out, it's going to be a big aggravation. But because I was getting annoyed, I'm sorry, I lost my place. Oh, not wanting to was the very signal I needed to go ahead and do it. I'm growing my brain. It's like an extra little bonus for not only am I cleaning my house, I'm growing my brain, so it's like double the benefit. My anterior mid-cingulate cortex, according to Andrew Huberman in his latest David Goggins interview, he's the one who I heard this from, and he posts the research. If you watch the video I posted on my Rational Recovery AVRT Facebook page, which is linked in the description. Please join if you've seen the other page dedicated to RR. It's been overrun by ads and worse, so let's grow our community. I know this has been a long one, but I have to add one more thing. I'm considering changing my channel name to Rule Yourself Radio. I'll announce it a few more times before I decide, but please subscribe so you don't lose me. I'm going to keep the same icon so you'll know it's me. But yeah, I want to name the BSpeak blog. I'm going to rename it Rule Yourself Radio. So, but I'll give you some more notice before I do that for sure. All right, rule yourself, defeat the beast. Thank you.